Shin.
Thank you for tuning in to Fine and Dandy Podcast with your co-hosts Daniel Velasquez and Josh Moreno here out of 330 Studios, our very own studios that we put together ourselves, where we aren't really getting any advertisements or play very much as well.
Because we are starting back up, but we're just getting our rhythm back in our new studio. Things are going great. I wish we could have a panoramic view. I feel like we said that on the last one, but studio's really coming together in here. Really proud of what we got going. Welcome to any of our new viewers, and welcome back to any of our returning viewers. We'd like to thank you all for being here with us. We got some great things to talk about today. How are you doing today, Daniel?
Doing great. We're here to deliver. We're here to deliver, stand deliver, call us delivery men. I'm USPS because I'm here. Deliver.
With the package.
We've got the package of words that we're going to deliver to you.
Delivery package delivery. Cash on delivery. That's the
Cash on delivery?
It says cash on delivery. That helps a lot.
What does that mean, cash on delivery? Okay, fair enough. Also, I'd like to give a shout out. I might have already done this before on a previous podcast, but to the commenter who said that we are both retards. Shouts out you. This 2021. We don't say who says retard anymore. Not politically correct. It's just wrong and just rude. Especially if it's coming towards my way. I don't like that one bit.
Definitely not cool.
I mean, we did accept all feedback. That's just mean. You are a meanie head.
I mean, we appreciate all feedback, but it's like maybe be constructive if it's gonna be negative. If it said like you're both retards, but like this is how you can go about bettering your podcast.
Yeah, if
like,
you could,
yeah.
there wasn't anything following it. It was just okay.
Both retards.
We should probably stop saying that word. I don't think it's.
I mean, it's contextual, right? It's like we're saying this.
Don't think. Fair enough. So I just got done watching Crazy Rich Asians.
Okay.
Movie pissed me off the whole entire movie. All
The
the way
whole
through.
movie.
I mean, it was a fairly good movie. I liked it. I mean, it was, of course, it was good, but it's just the whole movie pissed me off 'cause it's. I mean, of course, about a bunch of rich people who are shitting on, not literally, of course, figuratively speaking. It's
No,
not
they're
just
pooping on them.
they're not just actually shitting on this girl. Imagine a full-length film. That's the entire entire movie. Just one person getting shit on.
Probably have to make it rated R.
Nah, that's X. That's X-rated.
Oh my God.
You can't just be rated R movie of just someone shit on. Is there like
Just depends on how graphic the shitting on is. Like flirts. Shit, I don't know.
in terms of censorship though? Is there laws for that? Could there be a movie or a show of someone just eating shit? That's the entire. I mean, I don't think it would sell.
Legally, I don't know. I feel like it for sure would not. Like, as far as the pitch goes, you'd probably have to make it. It had to be like an independent film.
So if you were a vlogger and you had 1,000,000 viewers and you just went into your own little personal vlog,
As far as distribution goes, wouldn't that have to cut? Like, you'd have to whoever's.
no, I mean, if you're a
distribute
vlogger, that's going up on YouTube, or you post on
If
Twitter.
YouTube, but YouTube couldn't take it down.
That's what I'm saying. So
That's not necessarily company policy.
it's wrong. You shouldn't do it.
Not necessarily. I mean, I'm not saying that it's wrong, or I'm not.
I
saying
think I would. I
I'm
would
not
say
saying,
it.
What I'm trying to say is I'm not saying that they would take it down because they're saying it's wrong.
I'd say
What
it's
I'm
wrong.
saying is that all it has to do is go against their terms and conditions for them to take it down. Therefore, I feel like it would. I mean, unless you're just getting like a view of just like shit dropping and no like ass at all and no like anything else, just like a view of just shit falling the whole time.
I wouldn't even go to that extent. I'm saying just like a bowl.
Maybe.
You know it's shit. It's just a bowl.
Maybe because there's
Just-
no like nudity or anything. maybe. I don't know how that would fly with you of
Not saying I'd buy
people who
into that
pull
pitch.
shit off.
Where
Oh,
I
where are you at? Where's this shit coming
look,
from?
I'm gonna tie this back.
Literal, where's
I'm gonna
this
tie.
literal
Look,
shit coming
I'm
from?
gonna tie this all back in. I just was thinking, if there was more TV shows and more movies that were just preposterous and it just went absurdities, like you took not necessarily extremes, but it was just a bunch of random stuff going on in it, like just the craziest thing you could think of. Put that in a show within legal rights. Nothing too crazy, but crazy enough to where it would succeed. Those are what I would want to watch. Like for instance, let's say like
Like,
take a normal everyday thing, but take like the weirdest part of that everyday thing and make it into like a show. Let's say someone's a night stalker, not like a stalker, a
like
stalker,
a overnight, like
overnight
grocery stalker.
stalker. Yeah, not like a night stalker.
Oh my god.
That'd be a
A
good movie.
hashling slash.
That would sell though for sure. People love criminal movies and murderers for some reason.
Like, so didn't the stalker show already get made? Like the You on Netflix. You
Yeah, that's a stalker. He's not a night stalker per se. He's
daytime
just a normal everyday
stalker.
average
Average
Joe.
Joe stalker.
Oh, that was a good one. No, but let's say you're an overnight stalker, right?
Okay.
And then it's just
it.
you and your ragtag team of overnight stalkers doing crazy things in a grocery store.
So I'd like to say, what was the movie with Dane Cook where he worked at a grocery store?
Employee of the month.
Yeah. So like, isn't that what happened in that movie? I mean, like he was a cashier. No, he wasn't a cashier. Wasn't he a stalker? Him and his boys were stalkers. Girl was a cashier.
Okay,
Other dude's a
maybe.
cashier.
All right, you get my hopefully get my
I
point.
don't think they were overnight stalkers, but they were stock boys who like made like a room in the middle of the stock shit. Remember where they would play cards and shit during the shift?
All right, fine. I'll give you a better example then. How about this? We'll scratch that one. Best way to reference would be when I think of interdimensional cable, Rick and
Okay.
Morty, specifically the one where it was all the cats band together 'cause their owner was an old lady who died, but it's like the adventure of the cats basically living as the old lady. Like they move her like limbs and
I
stuff.
remember that one.
Like
I
it's a
remember
bunch
that
of
one.
cats just like moving
Yeah.
her around town, and somehow she still finds a lover as she's dead.
Okay.
Like
I remember. I feel like another one of the fucking interdimensional cable fucking things was the Doors commercial where it was like where after like he like after the commercial he walked out the studio, got in his car. They were like, "Is this still part of the commercial?" And he like goes to his house and he like cooks dinner and he's like, "And we got some more doors right here. It's just doors type shit. And call the number at the bottom of the screen if you want some doors."
that's just exactly. I mean, I know people are against mindless entertainment, but that would be some mindless entertainment I'd watch. If that was an advertisement, I think I would have enjoyed it a little more. Like if you were selling doors and that was your doors, it wasn't so serious. We've got doors here. If you're looking for doors, we've more doors. I open this door. What do you know? More doors.
All the doors. This door doesn't go anywhere, but it's still a door.
I would probably not buy a door, but I would be.
Metal, wood, plastic, steel, whatever you want. We got all the doors.
I'd respect it.
Glass doors.
But yeah, if we made more movies like that, I think like more B movies, like The Room. I love it.
movies.
It's terrible.
Movies a comedic class.
It's terribly good.
Terribly good.
It's so bad. It's great. Like I would.
So bad. It's
I
great.
need more movies like that.
That-
Mass produced.
That movie give. I feel like that movie should give filmmakers hope.
That anyone like that's a cult classic. How?
That movie should give most filmmakers hope.
It's crazy 'cause that's one of the few movies. Opening day, it just in the toilet. It was terrible. It made no money. It barely made anything. I think it was like $6 million to produce. I think he made a couple $1,000. Like
Profit.
no,
Oh.
Like total,
Shit.
total. But he's made, I think, his money back in time now. Because after the fact,
Okay.
it grew in
Like over
popularity,
time.
and then they would show it at movie theaters because people loved it so much. So people would actually go see it weekly or at its showings at the movie theater. But it was such a terrible movie.
He made a couple thousand. I was like, hey, well, at least he didn't zero out.
No, he made negative.
Shit. Made a couple thousand.
If you haven't,
Fuck.
go check out The Room. It's a cult classic. Great movie.
So wait, cult classic means cultural classic?
Like it's like, I mean,
Or
yeah, I think it's short for culture, but cult classic essentially is. I don't think actually I don't even know if it's short for cultural. It's more so a sense of like a cult following.
that's what I
It
thought.
has a cult following. Like it's like a group of people, a large group of people that love it. Like Dazed and Confused, cult classic. It
Okay.
didn't like at the box office. It tanked. It wasn't great upon its release. It was a really low budget film.
So what qualifies a cult classic? Does it have to do bad in the box office?
Yeah, like it's not. It's like among critics, it tanked, but among the people,
But people that aren't critics
um,
banded together
and everyone that loved
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 it
the
and
movie.
kept it going.
Yeah,
Okay. That
so
makes sense.
like it tanks originally, and the critics are this movie sucks. This is the worst movie of all time. But a bunch of people are, hey, I actually like this movie. All right, tying all that back in though. So I was watching Crazy Rich Asians, and the whole movie is just about all these rich people, right? Who okay, so the girl essentially she's not rich. She's from New York. She's Asian, working class.
Spoiler alert, by
She's
the
a
way.
yeah. She's a economics teacher, and then all these people just are so mean to her because she doesn't have money the entire movie. I'm sitting here like, damn, people really live like this though, and they're telling her you're not one of us. But y'all are both human,
Yeah.
and if at that both Asian.
Right.
So now we're using a whole nother means of separation at that point. You don't have money. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then the whole movie is showing how shitty these people really are, even though they have money. So essentially, you're watching them say, you need to stick with people who have money. And then you look at all the other people. If I was him too, I'd be like, yeah, I've seen what y'all are about.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
thank you. I'll pass on all of this.
It's weird because it's like whenever you see like I mean I don't know anybody that's on that level. Hard to speak from my perspective when pictures. Damn, money really does cause like a whole lot of problems when it comes to trust and shit. But like usually it's weird because you see descendants of the people who made the money type shit more than the people. But sometimes, of course, you got the people assholes. Usually, it's their kids who are on some shit like on some trustworthy shit. Like they trying to steal our family's money. It's like you was lucky you was born in this into this fucking family. Who the fuck is you speaking for? Type shit.
But what I don't get is when you're talking about people without money, they're just in it for the money. Like they're just marrying you because of the money. But on the same token, you got other rich people only marrying you also because you have money. If you
Right.
didn't have money, then they
They
wouldn't
wouldn't
have
be
married.
right.
So
Yeah.
I get it, they have their own money, but they're still only marrying you for your money.
It's like yeah, so that's a good point because it's like
What?
saying like oh because they don't have their own money, the fact that they're only interested more than when somebody has their own, they're only have as much type shit. At least you can like sustain yourself. So that's interesting. That's actually interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense because you're bashing them for finding someone who's
You're
who,
bashing them, but what you're really hoping for is to find like a fucking prince or somebody. It's like so all you want is just somebody that's as rich as you, even though you probably
exactly. No, yeah,
didn't.
majority of it's just family ties. I wouldn't want that. That'd be terrible. Arranged marriages, big thing at one point. All
Still
that
is,
good,
I feel like
all that good stuff.
other place.
You know what's funny to me though now is when talking about people who like praise other people who have money, people in money and stuff like that. Now you have a bunch of people with no money basically sucking the meat off of these rich people's dicks. Like, well, you should have earned your money like these other people earn their money. You have people sticking up for these rich people that don't even have money now. It's crazy to me because it's the hopes that you might one day be them.
Yeah.
That's a crazy like fact of the matter is how are you at that point? Like, well, you're not. It's actually a whole nother level. It's the fact that some of these people don't have money, but they won't talk to you because you're not grinding hard enough. It's not even the money factor anymore.
And it's like you're not grinding hard enough on their perception because your dollar amount isn't where they want it to be. I mean, in most like cases of life, like even in like small like sample sizes, if you want a certain job, sometimes you might have to take a unpaid internship. Your dollar amount's not gonna be there, but you might be doing the right thing. You know what I mean? You might be grinding. Sometimes your dollar amount doesn't always equal how hard you're working. And some people don't know how to deal with that fact.
You should have just got more education, or you should have just did this if your dollar
Pull
amount
yourself up by your bootstraps.
every
Shut the
time.
fuck up, dog.
You know, it's crazy to look at how fast things have changed. When we were younger, going from being teenagers or even just children to being in our 20s, were completely different than the generation before us.
Right.
I mean, technology was introduced to the kids in the 90s, but it had no take on what we have now. Going from our teenage years into our college years and being in our 20s in general. When you were a teenager, college was the answer, or get a decent job. It was all about just keeping your head down in school type of thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
You could be in entrepreneurship. It's completely in the time from when we were probably even just 16. What is that? 6 years? No, 7. I think that's 7 years.
Yeah.
Now, so in just the past 7 years, from 16 to 23, when we were sophomores in high school, thinking about going to college, what college you might be wanting to go to, and all that. Now kids are TikTok. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
YouTube, completely different. Going into your 20s, it was it sucks too because you're going into college and there's this whole drastic change now happening,
Right.
and so it's giving you more avenues, more options. But then you also have that where you're thinking, hey, I could still go to school,
Yeah.
or I could do this over here. Teenagers now, they have so many options. I feel like most of them don't even they're going to grow up to be like, you didn't grind hard enough. I'm 17 with I'm 17. I got $400,000 in my bank account because I grinded.
Real
Like,
shit. I mean,
YouTubers, you have little kids making millions of dollars
yeah.
doing toys.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think that it's gonna come to a point where people really understand that the idea of having like making like creating jobs as a priority rather than like bettering the education or figuring out how we can better our healthcare system. That I feel like creating jobs is gonna become like non-existent, like because really I feel like people are gonna start working for themselves creatively, and that's gonna be able to be monetized going forward. Because I feel like going forward, like these like conglomerates like Amazon and Apple, fucking all these top like corporations, they're gonna pretty much be able to provide jobs and like things that automation's not and innovation's not gonna be able to provide for. So everything else is gonna be up to us. It's everything else once everything on that level is taken care of is gonna be all right. Bet we can really focus on entertainment, art, creation, life. If people see it that way, that like I still believe it, and I forgot who said love anything enough. Find out how to master it. If you find out how to master it, you'll find out how to monitor. That's exactly true. Even if it's farming, bro. Farming, you'll find out how to grow crops to be able to sell them. Find out how to sell them, be able to market them and sell them, be able to feed your family, and be able to pay rent, do everything. That's truth.
Perfect example of that. Sean Evans. Oh, like I just watched a interview where he was the interviewee. He wasn't interviewing anybody. Yeah, 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 on a podcast, and
Damn it.
it was funny because he was talking about how there's farmers who make peppers, specifically just hot peppers. They're growing the hot, like they're over there. like scientists basically
Mm-hmm.
growing the hot, like always trying to develop the hottest pepper. There's someone specifically, the person who made the Ghost Reaper pepper. Someone else made a hotter pepper. He was like, "Oh yeah, I got a hotter pepper," and then he basically has another pepper on back the door just in case someone says, "I have a hotter pepper." He's just waiting. So then
He's got a back
he
door
said
to his
he
new
so
one.
yeah, so he's just in case someone else is like, "I got a hotter pepper." Oh yeah, well I have a hotter pepper. This man figured out how to master peppers and then monetize that. And I mean, some of his sauces make it onto the show of Hot Ones. So I mean, he's for sure getting money alone from just that show
Right, and
itself.
more than that is his shit's probably going off the shelves to even make it to the show, the hot one.
Oh
You know what I
yeah, other
mean?
people are buying it
His
now,
shit's got to go
especially.
off the shelves to even make it to like marketed for hot ones. Oh shit, this sauce over here
Yeah, I mean, and it's because of Hot Ones
gotta
alone,
have a market.
more people are buying it.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
that's what I'm saying, bro. I feel like it's gonna be good that we don't create as many jobs that are desk jobs, fucking like bullshit as like jobs that we can really just like fill out. Like I feel like the pandemic showed that working from home is really good for most companies. Why are you paying rent on a building where all these people are gonna work in a cubicle whenever they could do the same amount of work from home with their work phone, and you could pay them the same amount of money? Why they gotta drive to work? Why do you have to pay the light bill? If you can make these people work from home, they're doing the same amount of work, working just as efficiently, getting the same amount of work done. Why would you ever go back? You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense on paper. Yeah, I mean I could see why you would want to go back so like you could have like a normalcy like to life and like maybe people will be able to get out of their homes and shit. But from a business standpoint, it costs more money to go back to fucking location rather than have your employees work from home.
it's weird too when we look at people who run these businesses. You look at your employees or your workers as just another number or something, but it's weird because these are the people essentially running our economy, on the ground floor. Of course, you have the people high up making all the money, but then
Yeah.
you have all these other people who are making all the money. And it's weird to see when you think about it because people say classism doesn't really exist as much as it used to, but it for sure does. You have the rich and wealthy against the average, everyday, blue collar worker, and I don't get why people have such hate against the blue collar worker. Okay, your education isn't as high, but they're still basically running the productivity of our country, especially.
Yeah.
Without those ground floor workers, what do you have? If you have no one working to run your businesses, what do you have? It sucks too, though, because most of those rich people are hoarding all of the, you know, what's it? What? Not no, not resources. Not just. I mean, yeah, money's for sure, but the resources, all the stuff you need to survive. Mostly, they have all those resources
What,
that you
toilet
need.
paper?
Too soon. I mean, self sustainability sounds good, but not everyone's gonna be on that.
Obviously not everyone's gonna be on that, but it's kind of like find out how to sustain by yourself, like be able to like achieve self. People are really gonna have to do a lot to take away.
Exactly. I mean, it's tough because then at that point you don't really need as much money if you're sustaining off of yourself.
I
Because then
mean,
that brings other avenues as well that you.
exactly.
But where I was getting at is it's crazy how we've created such a divide money wise and saying, oh, to do this you have to be this, and are these people don't deserve as much of rights because they're not working as hard or doing as much. That's insane. I mean, you're telling me people don't deserve the right to live because they're not they're not contributing as much. What I'm at is what do you do? There's some people who are making money off of just doing seminars to tell other people how to make money. What is that contributing really? I guess more maybe economy flow, but what are they really helping? Who are they helping? What do you like? What are you really giving to society at that?
Right. I
Nothing.
mean,
Nothing.
you have like former presidents getting paid like $200,000 to have speeches. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what could you possibly be saying in this speech that's worth $200,000? I don't get it. I don't get it, dude.
I mean, I guess it's an important job to some people, but
That ex president.
you know what I mean? Exactly. So, and, and farmers don't get paid as much as they should. People who are really
Teachers don't get paid as much
much
as
as they
they
should,
should.
and well, in
Law
this country for sure,
enforcement, fucking firefighters,
people that are really out here.
social workers.
It's weird to me that we are so like focused on money and how much money is so important. What I was saying with Crazy Rich Asians is it annoys me how rich people already act in general, but
Right.
how it's trickled down to people who aren't even rich now against each other. You know what I mean? And shitting on the working class, we basically turned on each other at this point. When it's shouldn't we band together because everybody has a part to play in the society that we live in?
We should.
Not just about the money making; it's about what you're giving to the society.
We should, but it's that same like product of your environment. Like that's our mentality because apparently we don't have millions to protect for our family and shit like that. It's like I don't know why, but like you hear different people like talk about it in different ways. I mean, you have people like athletes and stuff who donate when they have to type shit, and then you have people who like Tyson Fury who donated like his whole entire like fight check to some type of charity or whatever. You didn't have to do that, but at the end of the day, it was like whenever you like saw that on that note, it was like saw that that shit was real. And where I'm at is that like there's people that take it upon themselves like because there's two different types of people in that tax bracket. There's the type of person that sees their tax bracket on can't believe I'm losing this much money. Type of person that says, "Yeah, I'm glad I'm able to." You know what I mean? There's two different types of people, and those two different types of people exist. And it's unfortunate that first person, the person that's looking at it like, "Damn, I gotta lose money to this," the person that's really in power right now, the people that are in power on mentality, not on a mentality of like, what can we do to help? They're on the mentality of to help ourselves.
And most of those, okay, so those people that basically are trying to help themselves, right? So what's, oh man, I'm trying to figure out how to put this in the best way possible. So as a recent, I don't know if you've been paying attention. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know what you pay attention to as of always. But minimum wage just got raised, right? Or not didn't get raised, but the talks of it getting raised to 15 an hour is it, right?
Right.
And in a sense, it's been 7.25 for however long, which has been beneficial for most companies because you don't got to pay people shit. You're paying them close to like 7.25 when money was like things cost very little. Yeah, I'm sure that was livable wage. But now 25 is not much, and then these companies are definitely
What's
you.
725 about like 300 a week minus taxes?
Let's see, 7.25 at 40.
No, it's 300 a check minus.
Yeah, you're right. It's about 300, but like before taxes are taken out a week. Who's living? Who can live off of that?
I mean, some people say they can, or some, and like people will say that like that's plenty. But where I'm at is like once you divvy up like how much shit really costs, and life is not cheap, bro. Like, life is expensive. It costs to die. Death is expensive, and this shit, everything costs money. And so whenever you look at it, it's like, bro, like if you giving me 1,200 in a month, and I'm working my ass off for that, taking what is it, 160 hours, 40 hours a week, 4 weeks, 160 hours of my life, working my ass off for $1,200. My rent costs six. My car costs 250 or three. My insurance at 150. If my groceries around three. My like 2, 3, whatever, you know what I mean. Like it fluctuates. Gas, fucking. If I have kids, if I have a partner that like we gotta work together to like get the money to get everything type shit. That's actually like that adds shit. And it's crazy to think that that's enough. To think it's crazy to think that that's worth what you put the hours that you put in type shit. 160 hours of work a month, working your ass off just to get by. Maybe. Fuck no. That's that's a failed economy.
But you have people who are getting mad that are that probably have an entry level job out of college making maybe $20 an hour, now getting mad because these people who do these other hard working jobs, working in a factory. I mean, Amazon already pays 15 an hour
I mean,
as as a factory worker.
I know people. I know people that went to college, didn't graduate, went into the plants as a contractor, make more money that I know with degree. That happens too. Work your ass off if you want to. Go to college if you want to. Stop bitching about other people, bro. Like, do what you got to do to make your paper straight. That's where I'm at.
If you're so mad that those people making 15 an hour, couldn't you just also quit your job? Even if those people were minimum wage workers making more than you were, right?
Right.
As whatever job you're doing, that's on that company. Why would you not just quit and go to a job that pays you more?
Bro, that's
You
like,
have the option.
because it's like, if your position is saying, like, nah, I paid for school so that I would be able to get more money once I got out, it's like saying, like, well, I mean, once you got out, they raised the minimum wage. What you gonna do? I mean, you know what I mean? Like you made a bad, like, it's not like you made a bad decision. You went to school because you thought it was a good decision at the time. But while you was in there, they raised the fucking minimum wage. Now it may not look like you it was worth all the student debt. I mean, that's neither here nor there. But at the end of the day, if I'm AT&T and I got a new iPhone in, so I'm gonna sell the one that you got for like fucking, or even, nah, put it this way, uh, if you want an iPhone, you come and get one, but we got a new one coming out tomorrow. I'm not gonna tell you that new one coming out tomorrow. I'm gonna make you buy this one, and then when that come out tomorrow, I'm gonna make you buy that one too. I have a business to run. That's what college is a business. That's how I look at it. And so at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is that, like, you can't fault AT&T for doing that. You was the dummy that didn't look it up. You was the dummy that went in the day before, bought a phone, and then went in the day after, bought a new one. Like, you can't blame nobody else. In this analogy, what I'm saying is that you went to college thinking that you was gonna come out, get a get a higher paying job. Now, when you came out, other people got a higher paying job. It's on them. No, it's on you. Go find a better way to use that degree and get a higher paying job than what you got now, or shut the fuck up and go pull a minimum wage job, do some easy shit at Target, and get 15 an hour. Shut your mouth over there too. But really, I don't understand the complaint. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I think that people just don't like change as well.
That's fair.
It's the fact of I'm so used to this already. This is what I was told. This is how I was raised. Now you want to change things on me? That's not okay. I was promised this. I mean, yeah, but
At the end of the day, it's like nobody really likes change. I mean, people like to be progressive in certain ways, and maybe people welcome certain ways. But like, to say that you like love it when things just change and you don't have no control over it, it's kind of not really true. It's like, damn, I wish I might have had a say in that. Or damn, like, I don't got no say in that. Like, I could have never had a say in that. It's beyond me, beyond my power type shit. Like, this is like something like, this is where I'm at. What is you having a problem with them raising the minimum wage gonna do, really?
I mean, so why would you care if people work the minimum wage job and they're able to have a good time and live life? Oh, so they can just do minimum work and then they can enjoy life too?
Most of these jobs are performing services for you.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, it's not like these people are fucking getting paid to sit on their ass. They're probably flipping burgers at McDonald's. They're fucking pushing cars to Kroger, fucking doing service, working at restaurants, whatever. What other minimum wage jobs are there? You know what I mean? Like minimum wage jobs type shit is usually services. Usually giving you something, like a retail's folding your clothes after you said, I don't want that. Fold that shit. They gotta go fold that shit. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's a minimum wage job. Why can't they live? You know what I mean? You taking food off the table from people that do shit for you on a regular basis.
I mean, it's mental stress too, 'cause you're dealing with
Right.
assholes every day. People who are entitled and think they deserve the world, but
Management.
yeah, that's the whole thing. People
Yeah.
don't want to even take into account whenever they're looking at people with minimum wage jobs. I mean, right? I think personally, if we were to raise, let's say, the minimum wage to $20 an hour, right? and then now you're looking at a job you just got out of college degree, right? With $20. Now, if you're putting the minimum wage at 20, right, in that company, if you move up, you get more no matter
Right.
what. You know what I mean? So then I'd say that put things into perspective. It's like you can go and work at McDonald's and make more money than you are at college, right? I'm sure you're gonna hate it though.
Right.
I feel like that would take money out of the equation for a lot of people. I could make way more money doing this shitty job.
Right.
So what's more? What do your values lie now? Is the money more important?
I
Has it been what's more important,
I
or is
think
it more of status that's been the issue for
I
most
think
people?
people are stuck on this mentality that like there's only a certain amount of money. You know what I mean? Like people are like, oh, like if they're gonna get paid more, that money's gotta come from somewhere. It's gotta come from my money. They gotta be taking food off of my table, right? Bro, look how much money they just been printing. The value of the dollar, I feel like I'm so surprised if it how it hasn't gone to zero at all. Like it's just insane how big our debt is in this country and how much more we're just adding on to it. Like it's a fucking tab at a bar and our name is fucking Gallagher. Are you kidding me? Like this shit is retarded. There's never gonna be like a cap, bro. Like they could say like, oh, we don't have the money for that, but that's just a business decision. That's not saying that they don't have the money for that. They do because they just print the shit.
And let's not act like the value of the like gold. Who's using gold standard and stuff and silver
Exactly.
and bronze? You're telling me if you had gold right now, you're gonna go use it?
Like where? Who's accepting that? A fucking pawn shop? You get the
Hell no,
value for it? No,
no. You're not gonna
absolutely
be able to
not.
trade that in. So I mean, cash is only as valuable now as the country makes it. So I mean, at that point, then what do you like? What are you worried about?
That's what I'm saying. It's like money's gonna come from somewhere. It don't gotta come from your pockets. They could really just say, pass this $450 million bill to bail out this corporation and that corporation, this like they've done before. I mean, what I'm saying is it doesn't have to be like that simple, but it's that simple. Money's gonna come from somewhere, and it's not gonna come from your pockets. If it does, then I mean, shut up.
Really,
I don't care.
really enough, I never thought about it until probably this podcast and died down. I don't think it's really ever been always about the money. I mean, for super rich people, it's about hoarding the money and the resources for sure, and being
Right.
able to control what they
Power.
can. Yeah, but for the most people, for the average Joe, for people just living their life or have a good job, I don't even think it's about the money. It's about the status that comes with it. It's about being able to look down on people or be I've got money, or I do this. Because think about it, McDonald's worker works $20. If minimum wage was $20 an hour at McDonald's, what person would care to work there?
It wouldn't look like be this like what's it called? Frowned upon.
Yeah, you're just mad because now the McDonald's worker, you can't look down on them. You're like,
Right.
the person flipping burgers is making as much as me. They're working
You'll probably
hard.
be somewhere flipping burgers. It's like people want that to still be a threat.
They're working
You know what I
hard though.
mean? People want that to be a threat because that used to be like a threat for people to not go to college. It's like you'll probably just end up somewhere flipping burgers. I mean, Gordon Ramsay is a pretty good burger.
See, that's what I'm saying. So you telling me someone who cooks and is a chef, that's okay, but someone who's back there making fries and sweeping and they're still in the kitchen. It's just one maybe a more established kitchen. You know what I mean?
Right.
So exactly, that proves my point. It's not about the money per se and what you're making. It's about the status. It's about where you're at. Good old classic classism. You just money comes.
Classic.
Boo.
Wasn't a joke. Thought you were gonna keep. I
No,
was just saying.
it was.
Cool.
Anyways, so like,
But
so going like, if we were to change it now, and if we were to keep changing it, I think if going from a teenager into your 20s, I think one of the most important things would be just to focus on what you want to do, what you really like to do. I mean, not everyone has that option because sometimes you just got to make bread to support your family or support something or someone
right.
in your life. But if you have the option, which a lot of people do now, just do what you want to do. Focus on whatever craft you want to do. A lot of people aren't going into STEM now because they can just make a podcast. And not to go down on what we're doing, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, STEM's not for everybody, of course. But, like, there's a lot of people who aren't doing it because they're so caught up in like science, technology, engineering, mechanics, like so STEM research and stuff. Basically, like, oh no, I said mechanics, math is math. So like all the math, science, technology, like all those fields, basically that help build like the medical field, or that help basically make our lives a lot easier. Trying to think what else. Bill Nye's coming to mind, but that's not because he just did a thing on it not that long. Yeah, I was trying to more for the people, less for you at that point. But like if for like most people aren't doing jobs like that anymore because everyone's looking at how can I be this image of what greatness is to people, the status and the money. I could just do vlogs, or I could just. But what people don't realize is, no matter what you do, it's all gonna take work. It's
Right.
all gonna take a level of work. It's all gonna take a level of dedication. It's all gonna take a level of you wanting to actually do it. So regardless of what you decide to do, this is mostly for if there's anyone in their early 20s or anyone going into their early 20s from being a teenager, having just graduated, or even having just graduated college if you have. Make sure you're doing something that you want to do because it's all going to take time, which in my opinion is the most precious amount, like the most precious and valued thing in this world that we have is time. Fuck money. You can always get money. You can't get time back. That time will never come back. If you're going to dedicate yourself towards anything, whether it's a STEM field, whether you want to really help the world out, whether it's entertainment field because you really want to help people in entertainment, or you just want to entertain people, whether that be maybe you just want to make money, which in my opinion, I don't know why anyone would just want to make money because you'll never be fully fulfilled because you're just always going to want more. There's no point. If your goal's money, think about this, you're never going to be fulfilled. There's always more money to make.
I mean, some people like the hunt. Some people like the chase.
Some people do. I mean, it's a natural
I
thing to
can respect it. Like, can't really
like
go
always
along
wanting
with it.
more and trying to always get the biggest and better kill type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily always a bad thing. I mean, you could look at it like always wanting to better yourself in different avenues, different ways. Talking about just cash basis, you can just think about it like this. It's like if you want to get paid for anything, you should be good at it. So if you want to get paid for anything, you got to get good at it. So if you want to get good at something, a motivation for yourself could say, how am I going to get paid off of this? How am I going to find a way to monetize this? How am I going to get professional at this so I can sell it? That's could be a motivation for somebody in a positive manner to get good at something so they can grow. But other than that, if you're talking about just pure cash based, negative for sure.
There's no one way out. There's no get rich quick. There's no scheme that you're gonna be the next big thing tomorrow. I mean, you could sell drugs, but I
Going
promise
to porn,
what?
going to porn.
And I promise you, neither of those things are gonna be easy either. You know what I mean?
It's
That's
gonna
hard
be tough.
work every day.
Hard work every
For
day.
either of those jobs, you could say that's the easy way out, but that's gonna come with
Hard
problems.
work every day.
To come with its own problems.
Oh,
I mean, life is a revolving door.
I'd say
I forgot where I
for
heard that, but
coming of age advice, since I don't really have a position, still coming of age, but
are we always coming of age?
yes, I feel like. I
See,
mean, we're all. You should be at least. I mean, you should be growing to a sense where you should be learning, growing into a better person. Come with age.
where I'm at is weird because you look at people in their 20s and you always think, these people are grown, which we are grown. We're adults. We can make our own decisions. We do our own things. But there's people in their early 30s that are still kids. They're just
Yeah,
grown
there's
up.
people that are 50s in their 50s that look like they're in their 30s. People in their 70s that look like they're in their 50s. Age is becoming like a weird thing. Like people when people used to die at 35, that's what like our mind was at. Like like how 35 and old or 30 like that's why I feel like people are like, oh, like 30 is a turning point. Like people are scared to turn 30, or like mostly like women are like 30 is like the turning point for like my life and stuff like that, and like people look at it like a milestone. I mean, can see why, but at the end of the day, I think that that stems from people like seeing 30 as like, damn, I'm finna die. Like back in the old days, like our ancestors and people used to be like 5 more years max.
I know people that hit the hump of 25, and 26, 27. Oh, I'm getting old. And I
Right.
look at them, I'm like,
You're
you're only 3 years older than I am.
right.
I'm still young.
Not
I'm still
even
young.
that.
That's not like that. You're not old. Like,
Like you're half or less than half of my father's age. You're not old, bro. Fucking a couple years older than my punk, my brother.
your father's still in great shape too for
Oh,
his
bro, for
age.
sure. He's like
Still,
60. What? 7 ish.
oh, he's in great shape.
He's in great
You would
shape.
never guess that. I'd say still,
Great
man,
shape.
still in his 40s.
And that's what I'm saying is like age is becoming like a thing of the past. Not necessarily like I feel like old age is becoming like I really do like I haven't done enough research to talk about it but there's the guy who's researching dying from old age necessary. If you treated death from old age aging, if you treated aging as a disease, would it be curable and would that stop aging to like the point of dying from old age? Really interesting.
Interesting concept. I mean, there's a lot of things that I've read up on that definitely help with aging. Of course, your diet's big one.
Right.
Eating right. You eat super bad your entire life, you'll more than likely. That's not
Couldn't
even dying of old age. It's
right.
dying because of bad
Like
health.
internal failure
Yeah.
and
So
stuff
I
like
mean,
that.
if you keep your body in
Right.
good shape, meditation they always say, 'cause it's the practice of stress relief. Stress definitely will have you die earlier on too, 'cause that puts a lot of, 'cause mental stress actually puts physical stress on your body. I don't know if you knew that, but if you're
Directly
stressing out
correlated.
constantly, it affects your body in a lot of negative ways. Meditation is a big one. They say helps with anti-aging. Uh, I don't believe creams really work that well. I think people want to believe that that works.
I think they're still like experimental.
But yeah, it's mostly like health. It's more of
Right.
a health, mental health, and like physical health thing. Keep your body in shape. Make sure you're getting your proper vitamins, nutrition, getting sunlight, like going outside. That's a big thing. Which is I think crazy thing that was a big one for a while with the whole COVID was no one going outside. 'Cause believe it or not, that's a huge thing for your body to function properly. Is getting all this like the outside air. That's very
Right.
important. You know,
Yeah.
not being around people and stuff can really damage.
Well, I think that we should wrap this up, my good friend.
All right, so I'd say I have one conclusion, like one last thing I'd like to say. Then, since Josh is ready to wrap it up, life is a long and winding road. That is a quote from a Beatles song, but it's nonetheless even more so true because you can live to be 100. 100's not even really like that crazy anymore. You know, it's like, oh, you're 100.
Mm.
The average age, I think, is like 70 to 80s now, but it's growing rapidly. Treat your body right. Treat your mind right. Sky's the limit. So with that being said, 30's not old. 25's not old. Don't feel like you need to rush to be rich or you need to rush to have all the successes and status. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Worry about yourself. Things will come in the right time. Not when you always want it. They won't come right away. 30 seems old, but it's still young. If you're got your life together by 50, you're in good shape. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like 50 is not too old to have your life together.
I think it's a good thing that we all need to recognize that life in itself is a process that if everything was to be shown to you at once, which like it's like the level of like theory of like you knew everything that was going to happen to you, would you still want it to happen? Would you still want to live the life that you would have already been shown that everything was already like laid out for you? Would you still want to do it type? And like, where's the mystery? I already know everything that's about to happen. Like, but even if it's good or bad, it's like I already knew that this was about to happen. There's no mystery to it. It's a quandary. But like what I'm trying to say is like everybody has their own process in life that is a process. So not everything's gonna happen at once, and not everything's gonna happen the way you want it to when you want, because everybody else their own experience as well. And it's good that we recognize whenever we're like doubting our position, like anxious about things in life, because we understand that if things are gonna work out, they're gonna work out when they need, not just for us but for everybody. What we can do to help that is what we should do, but anything past that, let go and let God.
And my last, very last note, I promise. Everyone deserves the right to live a prosperous life. If you think otherwise, you have been brainwashed to feel like some deserve a better life than others. We all deserve a life that we can enjoy, a life that makes us happy, and a life where we can actually see the finer things in life. And that shouldn't be just something for people who have greater wealth. That should be something accessible to all, regardless of the fact, because we're all human beings and we're all born on this earth. What happened to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? I don't think that faded away. If you're born on this planet, I think you have a right to this planet, not just those that have enough money to say you have a right to this planet.
I agree. And on that note, I'd like to bid you all a good week. And thank you all for joining us once again for another great episode of Fine and Dan.
Take care out there. Y'all be easy. We'll catch you soon.
We love you all. Bye.